So in today's video, I thought it would be an interesting topic of conversation to bring up a little bit about finances, saving money, little tips and tricks and things that I have learned over my 43 years of life. I'll give you a little story time. We'll talk about some ways that I still like to live really fabulous without spending a ton of money. And we'll briefly touch on a little bit about influencer culture, TikTok, Instagram, and all of those things. So if that sounds good to you, grab a cup of coffee, stick around, and let's get into it. So the very first topic I want to bring to your attention is covert marketing. So this is also known as stealth or undercover marketing. So basically it operates by subtly integrating promotional content or products into everyday experiences without overtly disclosing the marketing intent. So basically, you might see a cute video like this with my dog, and then maybe in the background, you might see like a little bag of dog food, but they never really tell you what they're trying to sell you. So basically, think of it like this. They would be providing products to influencers for them to organically showcase them without explicit promotion. So just kind of placing it in the background of a video. And then that would generally lead to the audience asking about that product, and the influencer would never even have to tell you they're selling it. I graduated high school in 1999, so I am definitely a 90s girl at heart. And during that time period, my most purchased items were Revlon cosmetics. That was the height of the supermodel era, and they were all promoting the Revlon cosmetics. We had influences like Anna Nicole Smith a little bit later on with clothing lines like Guess. We had MAC Cosmetics. I remember Esprit being extremely popular, but it's quite different than the influence that we're seeing now with social media being such a thing with TikTok and Instagram, and pretty much anyone and everybody being able to give you a code or sell you something. Social media at the moment is one of the biggest platforms that brands like to advertise on. So a lot of times when you're seeing influencers who are constantly sharing new products, constantly sharing the newest and greatest, you really stop to think about it. When you're following certain individuals, certain influencers, if you will, it doesn't really matter in what area you're following these influencers. There could be lifestyle content, mommy vloggers, fitness vloggers, whatever you are following on there, there's a good chance, a pretty high chance that they're probably selling you something. They're feeding you this content regularly, and you are consuming this content regularly, and that's doing something psychologically to us. That's what's really important to keep in mind. And I think a lot of people are starting to become more aware of this, is that if somebody is working as an influencer, that is technically their business, their brand, their job. And most of the time they're being gifted things to share with their audience, being paid to promote that product. So they're being paid a wage to share that product with their audience. So are given a discount code, which they can share with their audience to click the link below, making it very easy to make multiple sales, to deliver that to a lot of different people through the platform. And then they make a small commission off of that. So I'm likely not telling you anything that you don't already know. And if you didn't already know this, well, the veil has been lifted and now you can kind of see the light a little bit. But this doesn't mean that it makes it any easier for us to not want to purchase these items. I think especially with short form content like TikTok, where everything's just kind of being thrown in your face all the time and everything is so aesthetically pleasing. So many like ASMR type of videos. We have the cleaning videos, which I have recently fallen down the rabbit hole. There's so many things. Everything is so aesthetically pleasing. It makes you feel in a way like you need to purchase those things. It can be really, really hard to differentiate what is actually necessary and important versus what you're seeing and being fed to you in such a crazy fast way, and you're digesting it in such a crazy fast way to not just want to click the link and, order everything that you see. In a split second, it's easy to make a bad decision and click a link and just end up with all of these products that you don't need. They're increasing the shame, regret, credit card debt, or they're increasing your anxiety, your stress level, your regret, your shame over those purchases. We've seen this recently with the Stanley Cup phenomenon. The cups themselves were, $41 to $45. We've seen people going through and bum rushing stores, just causing a lot of chaos just to get these special edition cups. And in reality, they're only going to be around for a while before people get sick of them. It's like everything else. This is nothing new. It's just like I was talking about in the 90s. We had the Beanie Baby phenomenon. We've had so many things. Fidget spinners. My son is 15. I've seen so many things come and go, as I'm sure you guys have too. They stick around for a little bit. All of this money is spent on them, and they basically just sit around, collect dust, further increasing your debt for products that you just literally don't need, that are collecting space and dust in your house. and it's just like a never-ending cycle. In September, I had a challenge where I challenged not only myself, but my audience to start to kind of save money and really get intentional with your purchases. I successfully completed that challenge. A lot of my YouTube family completed that challenge. I actually learned a lot about myself during that challenge. I've gotten to a point recently over the past couple of years where I have gotten so intentional on the things that I purchase and the things that I actually need in my life. I am very much over consuming, collecting items I don't need, because as I mentioned, that just adds to my stress, my anxiety, and just it causes a lot of bad feelings when I'm over consuming things. Now, I will say I've never been somebody who is out there charging up a ton of credit card debt to have the new and the latest. That's just not me. For instance, back in the day, I used to purchase a lot of skincare products, a lot of makeup and things like that, because I was going through a really hard time with my skin. So I was a pretty easy sell. If I could see something online and someone would tell me it worked, I would be so desperate to try something that I would order, and I would end up with all of these products and all of this money spent, and none of these things were working. And so I was just shelling out thousands of dollars for products and makeup that didn't work. Now, what I did do is I got very intentional with my skincare, and I started finding natural products that were inexpensive that truly changed the game. I'll link some videos below. Some of those things include avocados. We live on an avocado farm. There's so many face masks that I have made with avocados. There's so many hair masks that I have made with avocados, and it doesn't cost me a single thing. I've started incorporating a lot of honey and turmeric, both very inexpensive and a lot better for you than a lot of the products that are out there on the market right now. Found ways to achieve the things that I wanted in a less expensive way, a more natural way, and a way that at the end of the day makes me feel so much better about what I'm purchasing and what I'm putting on my body. Allow myself to have some non-negotiables. I allow myself to contribute to my self-care with products that I trust and I love and I know that I'm okay with investing in. Two of those products are berberine, which I do buy about every 6 weeks or so, and also my ashwagandha. Those two supplements are something that are non-negotiable. I feel good about spending money on those because I know that I'm reaping the benefits. I see the benefits. I don't feel bad or negative about spending money on those. As far as purchases that don't make me feel good anymore, I don't enjoy going and purchasing coffee at coffee shops anymore. I went through a whole phase of kind of having a little bit of a Starbucks addiction. Now, granted, I'm not going and purchasing all of these lattes that are costing me $6 and $7 on a daily basis, but I would go occasionally and buy just a plain dark roast coffee. As the prices started creeping up, it was getting closer to being around $3 a cup, and I thought to myself, why am I doing this? Why am I going out of my way to go to Starbucks in the morning, spending $3? The coffee's kind of just subpar anyway. Like, what is it in my brain that continues to drive me to Starbucks? So what I did instead was I just started going to Costco, getting the big Costco value-sized coffee dark roast and making it at home. And it is 100 times better, and it's a lot less expensive. Me time and money and effort, and I feel so much better at the end of the day knowing that that $3 I was spending maybe 5 times a week, it all adds up in the grand scheme of things. Another thing that my family and I really try to focus on now is saving for experiences. What we do is we take a little bit of money from every paycheck and we put it away and we save it for an experience. We talk about things that we might want to do as a family, and then we budget for that. And at the end of it, it's a good lesson for our son, and it makes us feel really good because we've saved for maybe a family trip or maybe something that, like I mentioned, is going to bring an experience, a memory, something that we can hold on to instead of just going to the store and buying a bunch of mindless makeup products or clothing or things that really don't mean anything. I'll be an example of this, and I'm actually so proud of my son, and I think this is just a cool story to tell. My son is going on a really big trip with my husband. I'm not a great flyer, so I'm not going on this trip, but they are going to Germany, and this is something that is a huge opportunity for my son. I won't go into all the details of it, but he's always wanted to go and do this. And so we said to him about 6 months ago, if you really want to have this experience, we want you to start saving money and working towards helping buy your plane ticket. Okay. So he was actually able to raise almost all of the money for his plane ticket to make this trip happen. And then we, of course, contributed the rest of it, and we're contributing to the hotel stays and all of those things. But we really wanted him to put in the effort to work for something, and not only something, but an experience and a memory that he will have for the rest of his life. And I think there's such a joy in that, and there's such an accomplished feeling when you save your money towards a goal and then at the end, you get to have this great time. So that is just one example of something that we do as a family. I like to personally support small businesses. The family are going to go spend our money on a specific meal. We like to choose places, small businesses who have shown and continued to give quality service, and then we feel really good about spending our money there and supporting them. What I'm not doing in 2024 anymore is going to places and just spending money to buy subpar food, to get subpar service. I'm just not doing that. I would rather go to the grocery store, get a lot of good ingredients, come home, make a fabulous dinner as a family together, and really enjoy that and have an experience. Those are just some ways that we as a family have really made a commitment to saving for things we really, really value instead of just spending money on mindless things all the time and over consuming things. I don't think that's a good lesson for our son. And I think it's really important that these things be talked about. I think there should be money management in school. I think there's a lot of things that we can teach our youth about setting themselves up on a good financial path for the future. Financial issues can be devastating and it can really turn into an addiction. It's something that can be really, really hard for younger brains to process when you're just constantly seeing Sephora and Ulta and makeup and beauty and everything under the sun just being basically shown to you on a silver platter, made to look perfect and wonderful. And all you have to do is click the link and purchase it. It gets delivered to your doorstep. So I'm curious to hear from you guys below where you're at on your financial journey. Are you somebody who is struggling right now? Are you somebody who is finding yourself being very influenced by TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and your favorite influencers? Are you somebody who is committed to saving money and only putting your money towards places and businesses that you truly want to support? Comment down below, let me know. I think this is a wonderful topic of conversation. I'm also going to link some very fun, interesting videos for you guys to watch at home. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this channel. I hope you got some value from this and some tips and tricks and just some things that made the wheels turn a little bit. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.